Hires for our channel. Pahalgam ఉగ్రదాడి జరిగిన తర్వాత మొత్తం చర్చనీయాంశంగా మారిపోయింది. అసలు ఉగ్రదాడి ఇది ఎందుకు జరిగింది, సో ఉగ్రదాడికి భారత్ ఏ స్థాయిలో కౌంటర్ ఇచ్చిందో మనం అందరికీ తెలిసిందే. సో దీనికి సంబంధించి అసలు ఎంటైర్గా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయడానికి ప్రజెంట్ మనతో పాటు నేషనల్ డిఫెన్స్ అనలిస్ట్ చంద్రహాస్ గారు ఉన్నారు. వారితో ఒకసారి దీనికి సంబంధించిన వివరాలు తెలుసుకునే ప్రయత్నం చేద్దాం. సో నమస్కారం. అసలు పహల్గాం ఉగ్రదాడి ఎందుకు జరిగింది, దీనికి సంబంధించి అసలు ఎటువంటి కారణాలు ఉన్నాయి, అంటే టెర్రరిస్టులు కరెక్ట్ ఏ టైం చూసుకొని ఈ ఉగ్రదాడికి పాల్పడ్డారు, ఏం సార్ అసలు దీని మీద మోటివ్ ఏంటి?
So as we know, the last terrorist attack in India happened in 2019. That was Pulwama. Since last 5 years, there has been no attack.
Okay.
This situation is somehow related to Trump's decisions on tariffs. He put a lot of pain on China. He told them that he told all of the Apples and the Samsungs and the manufacturing companies to relocate from China to other countries. Immediately, Apple CEO Tim Cook announced that we would be moving our iPhone production to India.
Okay.
China didn't like that. And China has a client state, Pakistan. So Pakistan's entire weapon systems, their fuel, their economy, loans, everything is basically run by China. So China gave an instruction to their client state, I do not want India to be peaceful. If India is a peaceful country, its economic growth will happen.
Okay.
More and more countries will shift from China and move to India. Immediately, within the month where Trump said all of this, Pahalgam happened.
Okay.
Now, we have to understand that line of control is 770 kilometers long. It's got valleys, it's got mountains, it's got rivers. So you cannot entirely fence this line of control. Also, the terrorists, they dig tunnels 10 meters below the fence.
Okay.
We have got some radars, ground penetrating radars, which try to detect that, but 99 of the attacks, the Indian army stops.
Okay.
One attack is the one which succeeds.
Okay.
So Pahalgam was one of those attacks where China gave an instruction. The Pakistani army, the Pakistani ISI, all of them swung into action and they immediately sent battle-hardened terrorists inside India. The second part to this is, after the Afghan war ended, after the Americans left Afghanistan, a lot of battle-hardened mujahideens got free. All of these battle-hardened mujahideens from Taliban, from Kabul, Kandahar, have been moved to India.
Okay.
These are not your normal Kashmiri terrorists. These are not your normal Pakistani terrorists. These are battle-hardened Pakistani army commandos who have gained a lot of experience fighting against the US. And they have been sent into India.
Okay.
So Pakistan did its best to provoke India into a conflict. China said, don't worry, we will give you ammunition, we will give you drones, we will give you fuel. And to our surprise, we realized that Turkey also is helping them.
Okay.
Turkey also doesn't want to see India progress because Turkey is also a large economy. It's a competitor to our economy. And they also decided to supply drones, supply fuel, and supply ammunition to Pakistan.
Okay.
Unfortunately for India, our two biggest allies, the Russians and the Israelis, both of them are involved in their own conflicts. So right now the situation is very dire, where China will keep on resupplying Pakistan. Turkey will supply state-of-the-art drones to Pakistan, but we have no ally.
Okay.
And this is a question which our country should really think about. We need allies, especially when China is helping Pakistan.
Okay.
So Israel has helped us, Russia has helped us, but right now, because they are in their own conflicts, the ammunitions which we need, the resupply of drones which we need is not happening.
Okay, sir. So next one is యూరీ అటాక్ తర్వాత మనం సర్జికల్ స్ట్రైక్ చేస్తాం, ఆ తర్వాత పుల్వామా దాడి తర్వాత ఎయిర్ స్ట్రైక్ చేస్తాం. సో ఎయిర్ స్ట్రైక్ తర్వాత ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ పహల్గాం దాడి జరిగింది. ఈసారి ఆపరేషన్ సింధూర్ పేరుతో సక్సెస్ అయ్యాం. సో ఎయిర్ స్ట్రైక్ అంటే బాల్కోట్ తర్వాత అంటే ఇండియన్ వెపన్స్ లో కానివ్వండి ఏ రకమైన డెవలప్మెంట్స్ వచ్చేస్తాయి, ఇప్పుడు ఇండియన్ అంటే ఆర్మీ పరిస్థితి, వెపన్స్ పరిస్థితి ఏ విధంగా ఉంది సార్, ఏ స్థాయిలో డెవలప్ అయ్యాము?
So when 2016 happened, we did not have anything except Sukhoi 30s.
Okay.
Sukhoi 30s have a standoff range of 60 kilometers. With such a less range, we cannot engage Lashkar-e-Toiba headquarters in Muridke, Jaish-e-Mohammed headquarters in Bahawalpur. In 2019 also, we did not get Rafale. That is why we crossed the line of control. They fired at us, we fired at them, we lost one MiG-21.
Okay.
But after 2019, everything changed. We got Rafale. Rafale is a 4.5 generation state-of-the-art stealth aircraft. And we have got Scalp and Meteor and Hammer missiles. So these missiles, they are of a different league.
Okay.
They can fire. You do not have to cross our international border. We do not have to cross the line of control. Staying within our line of control, we fire and we can destroy targets up to 150 kilometers. So, although we targeted the terrorist camps, but the Pakistani Air Force had already taken off. They were waiting and watching because, as we know, our Honorable Prime Minister had warned that we would be hitting. They were ready. So what happened is, we attacked the terrorist camp. We did not attack the Pakistani air assets in the which were already in the air, but they attacked us. We maneuvered, we flew back, but their PL-15, Chinese PL-15 are 150 kilometers long beyond visual range missiles. They were fired at our Rafales and our Sukhoi 30s. There were some maneuvers, evasion maneuvers they are called. One of the fuel tanks of either a Rafale or a Mirage 2000 fell in Indian areas.
Okay.
Using that as evidence, Pakistan started drum beating saying that we have destroyed a Indian air jet. But the evidence shows that it was just an external fuel tank. When a missile is fired at you, you have to quickly let go of all the fuel you have, and you have to do evasive counter maneuvers to escape the missile. During one of those maneuvers, external fuel tank was discarded.
Okay.
It is written on that fuel tank that its French markings are there, so therefore it can be either a Mirage 2000 or a Rafale. But that doesn't prove that a fighter jet was fired at, was downed. Pakistani media have claimed a lot of things in their media which doesn't make any sense. So what happened after that was our fighter jets came back, and then Pakistan's counter-attack was they sent a swarm of drones.
Okay.
Now, how does a swarm of drones work is that they try to overwhelm our defenses. You can reply for one fighter jet, you can reply for 10 fighter jets. The Pakistanis, I believe, on the night of 9th and 10th, they fired approximately 400 to 500 drones at India.
Okay.
What they planned to do was completely negate our air defense systems. Because as you know, an air defense, whenever any air asset crosses the border, we are supposed to destroy it with a missile. But the cost of a missile will be 100 crores.
Okay.
Cost of a drone is just 10,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees. So it was an asymmetrical warfare, but what they did not expect was that India has a state-of-the-art counter UAV drone system. This is the newest technology, this is the latest technology which we have seen in the Ukraine-Russia war.
Okay.
So how does this work? There are multiple layers to it. As soon as a drone crosses the border, we have got radio frequency radars. A radio frequency radar, what it does is it jams the connection between the drone and the drone operator. So what happens is when you jam the connection, the drone slowly falls away. Then we use something called GPS spoofing. What you have seen, we have got a simple GPS. It shows us we have to go from Sainikpuri to Gachibowli, for example. The GPS spoof will say that you are already in Madhapur.
Okay.
So the entire trajectory of the drone is completely destroyed. These are called non-kinetic measures. You use electronic counter warfare measures to stop this. And then there are kinetic measures where we fire at these drones. In case we saw visuals that in the night there were a lot of drones on the skies of Amritsar, in the skies of Pathankot, Jammu. At this time, in case it is an armed drone would have a mortar, a grenade, or some sort of explosive attached to it. In case we do GPS spoofing, or we jam the radio frequency using electronic countermeasures, these drones might land on civilian houses and it might cause civilian casualties. So what we did at that point is we used very expensive surface-to-air missiles, shoulder-launched surface-to-air missiles or quick reaction surface-to-air missiles to destroy this.
Okay.
So in this way, Pakistan sort of did a very good thing, that they forced us to use our expensive missiles. But immediately on the next day, they did not expect this. We launched our drones, Harok drones they are called. These are anti-radiation drones. The anti-radiation drones finds where the Pakistani radar is. They have got HQ-9 Chinese air defense radars. The air defense radar sends a radar signal. The anti-radiation drones go and find these and they hit them in a suicide maneuver. These are called kamikaze drones.
Okay.
In the morning of post these attacks, early morning, India attacked with these kamikaze drones. They completely shredded their entire air defense systems. Lahore, Sialkot, and couple of forward operating bases. Once we destroyed their eye in the sky, they were blind. They had no idea what we are going to do now. Immediately, we launched our BrahMos cruise missiles. We launched our Akash air defense missiles. We launched our Israeli and Indian drones. We hit 7 to 9 of their air bases. Never in the history of the world has a nuclear country been attacked on their air bases. We destroyed their runways, we destroyed their missile systems, we destroyed their radar systems. However, as we have seen in the DGMO's conference, it was a warning attack.
Okay.
We could have done 100 times more damage to them. We did not do that.
Right.
Because we are not at a state of war. But Pakistani immediately understood that if we again attack India, the next attack would destroy F-16s, would destroy JF-10s, would destroy their ammunition dumps. It was clear to them that they cannot stop India. They were blind. They were begging for IMF loans. And immediately they called on the DGMO hotline saying we want a ceasefire.
Okay.
At the same time, they called the US saying that India has hit our nuclear missile facilities in Kirana Hills. We have denied that. We are a responsible nuclear state. We will not attack on their nuclear facilities because it might cause radiation leak. There have been certain rumors that radiation leak has happened. Some villages have been evacuated. We do not know the truth about that. But what we know is that they immediately called the US. The US called India. The US claims that they put pressure on India for a ceasefire. But as we officially claim that our objective was to destroy the terrorist camps, we asked the Pakistani army and air force to not retaliate. Still they retaliated. We have given them a powerful reply. We do not want to escalate into a war. But whatever the Pakistani replied, we replied 10x to them.
Okay.
And we showed that our capability is to reply 100x times. Because we have got Rafale jets, we have got Scalp, Meteor, Hammer, beyond visual range missiles, and we have got BrahMos. See, the thing with BrahMos, it's a cruise missile. It's a terrain hugging missile. It's just about 100 feet above the ground.
Okay.
So a radar will go in this direction. The cruise missile comes in this direction. So no radar is capable of detecting a cruise missile. And the speciality of BrahMos is that it flies at Mach 4 to Mach 8. The Indian Air Force has not revealed the exact technical details, but it's flying at 7,000 kilometers per hour. There is no way that the Pakistani Air Force or the Pakistani Army can detect and stop it. And that is what really scared them. You know, Noor Khan base is their most important base. Chaklala Air Base is in Islamabad. Imagine we hit Islamabad, we hit Rawalpindi, which is their military general headquarters. They couldn't stop it. And when they tried hitting us, they could not hit even Amritsar. Imagine that. We are hitting their capital, we are hitting their headquarters, and they cannot hit Amritsar also. So Pakistan understood that despite drone warfare being the next generation of warfare, the asymmetric capabilities, the differences between the two nations is huge. But still, I think China would have resupplied the drones. Turkey was giving them a lot of drones. So in the long run, we need allies. We need somebody who is quickly capable of helping us, because we spend 2% of our GDP on defense. I believe it's a clarion call for the Indian public to realize that our defense budget has to go up. We are not fighting Pakistan alone. We are fighting